You know any good jokes?
Yes.
Okay.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Hello everyone, welcome to Hats Off. I'm your host and secret roommate, D'Angelo Edwards. Cartoon blocks are the best. They were a great way to get you to watch things that you might normally skip. Don't want to change the channel and risk missing something good, so you just watch the whole thing. Blocks like Toonami, Magoozy, and Boomer Action made me watch stuff that I might not have watched otherwise. And I even got to see some shows that would go on to be some of my favorites. But if I had to name my favorite block of all time, it would have to be Kids WB. Hands down, no contest. But if I had to name my second favorite block of all time, Cartoon Fridays was a block that started on Cartoon Network on June 11th, 1999. The same time they gave us classics like Wild Wild West and Adam Sandler's Big Daddy. Truly a perfect year. Created by Chris Kelly, Steve Cohn, and Stephen Patrick, Cartoon Fridays started life as a way to showcase brand new episodes of the currently airing cartoons. Shows like Dexter's Lab, Cow and Chicken, and so forth. And it was wrapped up nicely with bridging segments that featured high-octane action-filled skits like weather reports, lottery drawings, astronomy lessons, and telemarketing segments.
This is... What? This is boring. Delete.
Like, whose idea was this? Is this what you think kids want to watch? A bunch of suit-wearing adults doing skits based on the TV channels that kids actively tried to avoid? Like, how did the meeting for this go? Hey Frank, what are kids like nowadays? I don't know, the weather? Frank, that's brilliant. If you weren't married, I'd kiss ya. Don't let that stop ya. Oh, Frank, we can't do this isn't right. Yamate. Oh, sorry, where was I? Yeah, this wasn't the most popular thing with the kids. I remember watching it, and I liked the cartoons plenty, but I really just wanted the bumpers to end. And luckily, Cartoon Network Jesus heard my prayers, because this version of Fridays was not built to last, and it was quickly replaced with something a whole lot better. In 2000, Cartoon Fridays will receive a huge facelift, ditching the stuffed shirts and giving us kids what we really wanted. The cartoons. And not just in the shows. No, the tunes were loose. They were out and interacting. You can even see Professor Utonium trying to mac on Johnny's mom. I mean, who wouldn't? But this was the Fridays where I first remembered getting really into Cartoon Network. In fact, this is what put it over the top for me in comparison to Nickelodeon. Heck, they even went to Nick for some sabotage.
Cartoon Network's got this thing right. It's called Cartoon Fridays, and we're on it. Hurry up! Okay!
Every week, a different host will present whatever new cartoons were airing, with a revolving list of Eustace, Johnny Bravo, Weasel, Double D, Dexter, Bubbles, and the Mayor. I always loved when Eustace and the Mayor hosted. They were always great. And in 2001, they added even more hosts, along with more segments of the cartoons interacting with each other. This was great, and one of the main reasons I loved Cartoon Network. It didn't really feel like a TV channel as much as it felt like a place where the cartoons themselves lived. Heck, the success of these segments would lead to the CN City era of Cartoon Network, one of the best things the network ever did. They did contests and even had artists like the Apples, the band that did that Bangin' Pop-Up Girl song, and even Chris Brown. It was a different time, let it slide. Fridays even went on to host The Big Pick, sort of a successor to the What a Cartoon show. They showed tons of pilots, and people got to vote on what would go on to become a full-fledged show. We got classics like Kids Next Door and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy from this, as well as shorts that would go on to grow their own large fan bases like Kitty Bobo. Cartoon Fridays continued like this until 2003, with seasonal variations like Summer Fridays and Scaretoon Fright Days, which I really liked because you got to see cartoons dress as each other. And like, look at this promo! No one really did it like Cartoon Network. But on May 16th, 2003, Cartoon Fridays was officially ended. I didn't really notice it at the time because, as I mentioned earlier, we were knee-deep in the CN City era, so it wasn't like the cartoons went anywhere. They just had better stuff to do on a Friday now, you know? But the void would not be empty for long, because starting on October 3rd, 2003, the new Fridays premiered. And what a premiere it was! The intro set the tone perfectly, and it looked like this Friday was definitely going to be a keeper. This time it felt like they were going for more of a healthy mix of the first two Friday blocks, with live action hosts, but with an overall more cartoony vibe. And speaking of hosts, let's talk about them. Fridays would now be hosted by Tommy Schneider and Nzinga Blake, and let me tell you guys, they were good. They brought such a good energy to the block, and they had this perfect little brother, big sister energy that really seemed genuine.
Can I do it this week?
The word of the day?
Yeah, please, pick me.
Go ahead, Tommy.
The word of the day is Stipton Chouse depiction.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You could tell they were having fun together. This also marked the start of having kids play a much bigger role in Fridays, helping out in skits, dancing around, doing whatever this is. It was great. Not only did they add some certified bangers like Foster's and Samurai Jack to the lineup, they had a bunch more characters and skits that they did. Like Milkman Fred, who just seemed like the nicest dude, showing you how to use dairy products.
Look at this. Be very careful when you use a sharp knife to slice open a potato, but you can fluff it up. And then put some sour cream on it. And after that, chives. Just sprinkle the chives on. There's nothing better than that.
Like, it's not really that funny or anything, but it was nice and wholesome and it warmed you up in just the right way. I should take a page from their book and do more stuff like that with my intern. Come on, intern, get some 8 fingers I have up and you won't be lowered to the sharks. Why are you screaming? I'm trying to do a wholesome educational moment about counting or something. It doesn't matter, just stop screaming. Why, sir? Why do you do this? Is it because after your countless eons of life you've grown cold to the emotions of others? Knowing that no matter what you do and who you grow close to, eventually, and without fail, they'll have to leave. So you close yourself off to escape the pain of loss, lest you break emotionally? Nah, I'm just kinda f***ed up. Ow. Also, the answer is 0. I don't have fingers. This is the Fridays that would go on until the end of the block. Eventually, Nzinga would leave and be replaced with Tara, which, no disrespect, but I like Nzinga better. Like, Tara was fine, but she didn't have the same chemistry with Tommy. There would also be a few more set changes, and they would have way more musical guests, with some pretty big gets at the time like the Jonas Brothers and Bowling for Soup. But sadly, on February 23rd, 2007, Fridays would end its run forever. Sure, there would be a few temporary placeholders like Friday Night Premiere Thunder and Fried Dynamite, but none of them had that spark that Fridays had. Cartoon Fridays really proved that something could be more than just the sum of its parts. All the shows that aired there were great in their own way, but when you put them all next to each other, you could really see what made them all special, with the bonus of having a really fun and unique premise. Like, a lot of shows on Cartoon Network currently are often said to be samey, but I think if there was a block like Fridays again, you could highlight what makes them all unique in their own way. I don't know, that's just what I think. Fridays isn't really a format that can work nowadays. It's super easy to skip stuff you don't want to watch, and if you miss a show that you wanted to watch, chances are it'll be online on the same day. That urgency to watch new stuff isn't really there anymore. Sure, there are premieres still, but a lot of premieres are shown online now. It's a little sad to think of, but that's just how it is. Fridays was a big part of my life, and even now I still look back on it fondly. For one day a week, I was in Cartoon Network, hanging out with all my favorite shows. And if you had friends over, oh man, you couldn't have had more fun. So, Cartoon Fridays, thank you. For the laughs, the fun, and for a cool place to just be a kid. Thanks for watching. Guess I'll go get my intern out of the Shark Tank. Quit whining, it was just a bit. Ha, bit. Kinda like the shark did to you, huh? Quit bleeding, you knucklehead. Let's go watch Juniper Lee.